The fallout from the Drake vs. Kendrick Lamar feud of 2024 continues to ripple through both the music world and beyond. While Kendrick has seemingly come out on top artistically and culturally, with viral moments, dominant tracks, and widespread critical praise, Drake hasn't exactly vanished into the shadows. The Toronto rapper has remained a prominent figure in the conversation, especially as fans, critics, and even celebrities continue to dissect every move made in the aftermath of their battle. But one unexpected voice has recently entered the fray: NBA star and cultural lightning rod Kyrie Irving. Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. The 2016 NBA champion and current Dallas Mavericks guard took to a live stream recently to share his thoughts on the ongoing comparisons between the two rap giants. Speaking candidly during a broadcast that later found its way to Academics TV, Kyrie defended Drake and made it clear that he believes the media, fans, and even the hip-hop world at large need to move on from constantly pitting the two artists against each other. "We can't keep tying in K. to Drake all the time," Kyrie said, exasperated. "They are both legends in their own right. They did what they had to do. Respect it and keep it pushin'." But it wasn't just about leveling the playing field. Kyrie went on to express genuine admiration for Drake's ability to weather storms of criticism and doubt throughout his career. His defense of Drake was passionate, emotional, and strikingly personal. "Drake gets his flowers too," Kyrie continued. "You're talking about the boy himself. He transcended so many haters that were telling him he couldn't amount to shit, and he ended up doing some legendary shit that won't be topped." In many ways, Kyrie's comments echo a sentiment that's been whispered but rarely shouted in the aftermath of Kendrick's apparent win. While Kendrick undoubtedly scored major cultural points, from Not Like Us becoming a summer anthem to orchestrating an unforgettable moment at the pop-out concert, some believe the treatment of Drake has bordered on gleeful erasure. Kyrie's decision to step up publicly and reassert Drake's legacy may not change the narrative, but it does put a new perspective on what's increasingly become a lopsided discussion. For years, Drake has cultivated relationships within the NBA, from courtside appearances to Instagram interactions, and even lyrical shoutouts. But lately, those relationships have become strained. One of the most notable shifts was with none other than LeBron James. The two were once tight. LeBron even premiered Drake's short film Please Forgive Me and appeared in the 2019 interview for The Shop, where Drake opened up about his private life, including the drama surrounding his son being revealed by Pusha T. But as the Kendrick feud escalated, it became clear that LeBron was no longer in Drake's corner. Last June, the rift became undeniable. During Kendrick Lamar's now iconic pop-out concert in Los Angeles, LeBron was spotted dancing, vibing, and enjoying himself while Not Like Us, Kendrick's most scathing Drake diss, played not once, but 6 times in a row. The symbolism wasn't subtle. The visual of LeBron, a cultural icon himself, celebrating Kendrick's takedown of Drake was a moment fans would not forget. Some even called it a betrayal. It wasn't long before fans noticed that Drake had unfollowed LeBron on social media. This silent digital snub spoke volumes. Drake, known for his calculated moves and strategic positioning, wasn't about to ignore the optics of someone he once called family, publicly supporting a song that called his integrity and career into question. But it didn't stop with LeBron. DeMar DeRozan, a fellow Toronto native and one of Drake's closest NBA allies, also found himself in the middle of the controversy. DeRozan was another attendee at Kendrick's pop-out show. And for fans loyal to Drake, that was enough to earn him some smoke. During a stop on Drake's Anita Win Max tour this past February, the rapper made sure the world knew where he stood. When a fan near the stage handed him a DeRozan Raptors jersey, Drake smiled briefly, then spiked it on the floor in full view of the audience. That moment, petty or powerful depending on who you ask, revealed how deeply personal this feud had become. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about loyalty. It was about lines being drawn. And Drake, never one to shy away from airing out perceived disloyalties, made his feelings known. Which brings us back to Kyrie Irving. Why would he speak up now? And more importantly, why does his voice matter? Kyrie has always been an unpredictable figure. His stances often defy public sentiment. He's criticized media narratives. He's challenged the status quo. And he's been unapologetically himself, regardless of the backlash. So in many ways, it makes perfect sense that he would be the one to stand beside Drake when most others have either gone silent or switched sides. Kyrie's defense of Drake isn't about music preference, it's about principle. He sees an artist who, despite facing immense pressure, continues to dominate charts, sell out stadiums, and influence culture. And he's frustrated that the narrative now paints Drake as the loser, simply because Kendrick won a beef. The irony is that Kyrie's words actually mirror some of the frustration voiced by Drake fans online, who feel that the pendulum swung too far in Kendrick's favor, to the point of discounting everything Drake has accomplished in over a decade of dominance. They point out that while Kendrick won the lyrical war in 2024, Drake's discography still commands astronomical numbers. His albums continue to break streaming records. His influence remains undeniable. And for an entire generation, he's the artist who shaped the modern era of hip-hop and R&B fusion. This is the dichotomy Kyrie is responding to. The idea that both things can be true. Kendrick won the battle, but Drake is still one of the greatest of all time. What Kyrie's statement also subtly calls out is the hypocrisy of how hip-hop audiences treat longevity. Much like Lil Wayne has been criticized recently despite a legendary run, Drake too is now being questioned, doubted, and even dismissed not because he's failed, but because he's been at the top for too long. In a culture that often champions the underdog, the once underdog Drake has now become the one everyone loves to hate. And Kyrie, himself no stranger to being painted as the villain, clearly relates to that reversal. But beyond the controversy, Kyrie's words are also a plea for balance. "We gotta stop acting like one person gotta lose for the other to win," he said in the latter half of the stream. "We are blessed to have both of them. Let's not ruin that with fake beef energy when the art's already been delivered." That kind of insight, especially coming from someone outside the rap world, speaks volumes. It's not about denying that Kendrick delivered some of the most talked about tracks of the year. It's about ensuring that Drake isn't erased from the conversation simply because he took some damage. Because when it's all said and done, both Drake and Kendrick have reshaped what it means to be a rapper in the 21st century. One brought poetic precision, socio-political depth, and conceptual brilliance. The other brought consistency, relatability, innovation, and global appeal. Kendrick might have walked away with the cultural win in 2024, but Kyrie's message is a reminder that legacies aren't defined by a single year. They're defined by impact, endurance, and evolution. And by those standards, Drake's seat at the table is still very much secure. As fans await what comes next from both artists, whether it's Kendrick's rumored next project or Drake's inevitable response, Kyrie's words may just help reframe the narrative. Not as a rivalry to be settled with scorecards, but as a celebration of two different but equally necessary pillars in modern rap. Kyrie Irving might not be a rapper, but in this moment, his voice was one of the most thoughtful, balanced, and human takes in a discourse that's grown more toxic by the day. And in standing up for Drake, he reminded everyone that success doesn't get undone by a diss track. It gets tested. And sometimes, the test reveals just how unshakable it really is. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.